I still got plans that I never spoke. A lot of rhymes that I never wrote. A lot of dreams that I never lived. But if I think about it, then I mean I really did. Just not yet. I used to wish that I was here now. Smooth sailing on my own boat. I'm about to jump up on another plane. Right before I take another toke. It's all love. If you hear, you done been through it. It's your business if you into it. If it ain't mine, I ain't into it. So I don't care what you meddle in. You can say what you
Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live on video on Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com/New Haven Independent or go to your Facebook page and look us up. Good afternoon, Uncle Lou. How are you?
Good morning, my brother. How are you? Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, here we are, Monday again. Waiting on another vote.
Going at it. Another vote.
On another vote. And just for those who don't know, Lou and I were on television before we got here.
Yep.
We were filmed by News 12. And apparently the segment will be on at 2:30 and 5. Correct?
About today's expungement.
It is about expungement and how the
bill.
So
we're pretty excited about that there, Joe.
It was fun. It was nice. We did it right on the street here in New Haven.
Yeah, so
right
a little background about what today's bill is, and then we have so many other things going on. There was a huge list you sent out.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited to see so many happenings. And then
some good things happening in other states.
And the calendar is pretty big, too. So I'm pretty excited about that, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if Kebra will be here today. She may be in Hartford.
I believe she's a busy woman.
Sure.
We got her, we appreciate everything. She was on the phone with me at 9 o'clock this morning, brother. She's been really pushing it.
I'm not sure, but you know
super happy. She's a champion for the cause.
She could be walking through that door. And either way.
And she might be listening. So
you
are the champion for our cause, Kebra. We appreciate you.
Just go up there and knock them dead.
That's it. That's all. We're here supporting you.
So basically today's bill is the 1095 goes in front of the Judiciary Committee, which is the bill that covers the expungement, the penalties, et cetera, the legal parts.
22 pages this bill was.
God, I couldn't even print it out to read it.
The language.
And they just keep repeating things. It seems like a lot of the things are said over and over and over again, and they word it in a way that you can't really understand it.
They made it complicated because remember, the law is all up to interpretation. And he or she who interprets the law the way that they would like are the ones that basically say what they want to.
Yeah.
So they put a lot of things in there new for prepared adult use marketplace. So it really, just the bill itself, super positive, super forward moving, but
doesn't cover enough.
Doesn't cover enough. This is just my own. I'm not an attorney. I'm not. This is my own personal opinion, but the bill doesn't. At 1.5 ounces, brother. That's not. That's less than the medical program.
That's less than the medical program, and it should probably be about 2 ounces in public. But they should also have a home limit.
Very similar to other states.
Yeah, I mean, that is higher.
Yep.
And regardless whether we have home cultivation or not.
Right.
Doesn't maybe not me, but doesn't a lot of people have a liquor cabinet at home?
Correct.
Where they keep liquor for guests or whatever if they just want to they don't want to finish their. In other words, what they're saying to you is you got to get your weed and finish it.
Yep. Before you can get more.
And maybe you don't want to finish it. Maybe you want to get another strain and just have that at home.
And you start looking at that craft brewer industry. So in the craft brewer industry, craft liquor, craft booze, craft anything. It's called craft because you want to have more than one. More than just the same thing. So now if you start looking into this cottage craft cannabis marketplace, Joe, what I mean is we're reading Sensi magazine from Massachusetts, and there's an article in it for Humboldt Family Farms.
Yeah.
If Humboldt Family Farms has an adult use marketplace in Connecticut, and they have these amazing VIP, and we'll use Leo Organics, which is a Rhode Island legal producer. These all the brands that I'm talking now are legal producers in their legal states, able to have media coverage. They are licensed in their home states.
Right.
So these are examples for if it was to happen here in Connecticut. But Elio does a VIP drop that you sign up through the dispensary, and because their brand is reputable, people sign up for this VIP expensive drop because it's now $100 a gram of cannabis, where normally it's $80 a gram of cannabis. And it's super limited, so they sell out in the first day. And it creates a marketplace for everybody, realistically. That's big business, small business, craft. That's
what we talked about with News 12.
Yeah, and that's what the idea is, Joe. So if I want to have my cannabis cabinet, not a liquor cabinet, I should be able to keep, okay, well, I know that there's only one of these plants that comes around every 6 months, so I need to get an ounce of this and hold that for a month.
Hold it, right, and use it. Right, some of that high THC stuff or whatever you want.
Or even, this landrace strain. Oh, somebody had this cultivator comes out. So we'll use our legal cultivators. Say AGL came out with a landrace similar to Acapulco Gold.
Right.
So now some of the baby boomers who smoked cannabis or used cannabis back in the day, they said, oh man, Acapulco Gold, not much of this comes around. AGL has it. So now let's go pick up some, but I need to make sure I get enough because we're not going to see it for another 6 months. I'm going to pick up an ounce now.
And hold it. But you can't.
But you can't. Why can't we?
See, this is the problem with it. If you're going to lift prohibition, then you have to lift prohibition. And if you're going to regulate it and treat it like alcohol, then you have to regulate it and treat it like alcohol.
That's right.
Nobody's stopping you from having 10 bottles of vodka at your house if you want, or 5 cases of beer. And they're not stopping you from purchasing 5 cases of beer at a time or 10 bottles of vodka at a time.
Correct.
So, I mean, it's got to get on the same par. And I'm not saying people need to have 100 pounds at their house.
No.
But, I mean, it's got to be within limit.
I think if somebody's having a party, they should be able to pick up an ounce or two.
They should be able to pick up more than that if they want.
If they want to pick up a QP from their favorite grower legally, where you're paying some taxes, there's fees involved, it's probably more expensive.
Buy it at the dispensary.
Go right ahead. That's what I want.
Maybe they should have, like, catering type. You know what I mean? Like dispensary in front of the counter prices, but then you special order if you want large amounts.
Yep. So what I enjoy is when we were out, and this is just one of those, hey, back to the West Coast, Vegas. Even though it's not totally West Coast, Joe, if I wanted to go in there and buy an ounce a day, I was able to buy an ounce a day.
Right. Or you can do that in Colorado, too.
Colorado, if I wanted to go and pick up. And they're nice jars, nice packaging. You know what I mean? I was in Vegas.
But I think the limit here, that's a daily limit as well in Connecticut.
It's just a daily limit.
But you still cannot possess more than that ounce and a half. So you can buy an ounce and a half at a time, but you can't possess more than an ounce and a half at a time. So you can only possess what you're buying at one time. Colorado's not like that way. No. The daily is an ounce, but you can possess more than that.
I believe it's 10 ounces at one given time
in Massachusetts too, 10 ounces. Now, yes, they say because people have grow rights. Well, if you're not going to give them grow rights, then damn it, give them the right to carry more weed in their house, because this bill does not give grow rights. And I want people, it's not in this part of the bill, it was in the other part, but it does not allow cultivation. People need to know that none of the bills that are in right now, except for a couple
for patient grow rights,
have not come out of committee. We don't even know where they stand.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's rough. So it doesn't look like grow rights are going to happen unless we really fight for it.
Yeah, which we are. We're pushing
and I just texted
calling out Robin Porter as always. She's a champion, but she's awesome. And whatever we can do to help, because that's her bill, I believe, right?
Yes, Robin, and then there was Tim Ackert, who was a Republican, who actually put in a grow rights bill.
We're right there. You're pushing the right with you. We're here to help.
And here we get to the point when this, I guess, I haven't heard anything. I texted Brian to see if there was any word on the vote, and there wasn't yet. So this brings me to my point. People in New York, we talked about New Jersey last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as we were talking, probably New York's bill itself was falling apart, too. So we lost, New York lost its cannabis legalization for this session this year.
On equity.
All about equity. And this was
such a big thing, brother,
that happened in New Jersey. And it was because they could not agree on the equity portion of the bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really believe that when it comes to these legislators, they don't even understand Not all of them, because obviously here in New York there were some that did and actually
and that's why they stood up. You know,
and same thing in
New
Jersey.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to happen here. I know there's a lot of legislators here. I don't want to jinx it that.
Yep.
But there will be a battle.
There is a battle. There's a battle coming,
and it's all about equity and it's mostly because they don't understand A, what equity is,
right,
and B, they don't see the need for it. And I think that's where the disconnect is. Yeah. They don't really understand the damage that's been done to these communities and these people that have been affected by the war on drugs and by the prohibition of this plant.
Yeah.
And I don't really think they get it. And they, you know, like, well, why do we need to let them out? Why do we need to expunge their records? Well, at least if you're not going to expunge records, at least don't exclude them from the industry. I mean, Massachusetts did not expunge felons' records. No. They expunged more than an ounce and a half, I can tell you that. They didn't expunge felons' records, but what they did was allow felons to enter the industry.
And they set a time limit. So
yeah, it was 5 years.
5 years from the date of conviction.
Right.
So not the day you were caught, but the actual. So if you had a 5-year trial or whatever, it was when that final say was.
5 years from the days of conviction. If you're a felon, you can still enter the industry.
That's right.
Now, Connecticut has a specific clause in their medical marijuana regulations that says if you're a felon, you cannot enter the industry, and specifically a drug felon.
Correct.
So does that mean if I'm a larceny felon or if I'm some other kind of burglary or even murder, does that mean I can enter the industry as a felon? It's only drug felonies.
Drugs. Very, and then the biggest thing is when convictions come down, they say a Schedule 1.
Right. It's all controlled substances.
And you said, "Oh, wait a second, this was just weed. This was cannabis."
Yeah. But it was Schedule 1 at the time.
Schedule 1. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's getting and
so I mean, a lot of the legislatures are saying, "Well, we looked at the statistics, and there's not a lot of people who are incarcerated for less than an ounce and a half." No kidding. No kidding. They usually don't put you in jail, or if you were in jail, you're already out for an ounce and a half. But you still get a record.
Money.
You get a fine. You get probation. You probably got to go to a drug program if it's your first offense. If you're second, then you might be spending some time in jail. But either way, the people that are spending most of the time in jail are the people who got caught cultivating. Or the people who got caught selling. It's the minor possessors that spend a ton of time in jail. Maybe if you got caught with a QP, but this bill only allows for people with under an ounce and a half, and that is a small. The legislators are absolutely right. There is a small, but that small amount still needs to be taken care of.
That small amount needs to be taken care of,
and it needs to be raised higher.
That as we legalize, even if we don't give that homegrown rights, we need to get enough rights out there for somebody who was picked up for cultivation. Just
they need to just allow
because realistically that might have been happening because the cost of medications through the roof, and hey, Joe Smo had a couple plants going because he can't afford $500 a month on cannabis. When
how many medical patients, especially veterans, do we know who have a hard time paying for their medicine through the program? They want to be legit. They get their medical cards. They do the right thing. The VA doesn't support them, so they're on their own.
They have to go extra.
And how many people have told us, and not only just vets, but older people who are on a fixed income have said to us, "Man, I wish I could afford my medicine, but I really can't. I wish I could grow my own. It's something in my old age I'd like to do, But no, they're not allowed to. So at least if we could get something for the patients, that would be the biggest victory right now.
And I think that we're at the time that we can say for the patients is not too much to ask, because the medical program's been in place for over 5 years.
Right.
When the medical program went into play, we were saying the same thing we're saying about adult use. We're saying, well, we'll get adult use now and pass adult use grow later. Okay, we said that about.
There's a study. They have a study in the bill.
So we're going to study and then put it on later. But okay, let's let that study be the medical marketplace, because
you already know
5 years ago, exactly 5 years ago, we said we'd put off medical home grow. It's been 5 years. It's been put off. It's time. It just is time. You know?
Well, it is, and you know what the thing about it is? It's time because not only everyone else in New England is doing it.
Yeah.
And I think it's time for Connecticut to step up to the plate and say, yeah, we're a New England state. Massachusetts is doing it. Rhode Island is doing it. New Hampshire is doing it. We need to allow our people to do it. We've been, they got sold out to corporate here. That's the problem,
And, even with that, I don't want to, we say that, sell out. But yeah, the business has their hold in there, but there's still place for the craft marketplace. And we've proven that with, it's sad to say, but yeah, craft breweries,
Well, we have a chance now. Okay, so we sold out the medical to the corporate. Let's admit our mistake.
That's okay.
That's it. It is what it is. It's done what it's done.
There has to be a CVS.
But now, that's right. If it's medical, it was CVS. But this is not medical.
Right.
This is adult use, and now we can. Yep. Now we have a time.
It's a different entity.
We can change it. We can change it.
It's a different entity.
And on paper, it looks like they're going to allow small licenses, 3 tiers, and all that kind of stuff. But if you really read the bill, they give equity applicants a 3-month jump start, but they also give the existing purveyors the same time. Then that's not a jump start.
No.
Not especially when your opponents are like King Kong. Yeah. It's not like you're at the starting line with a bunch of people who are at your same level. You're at the starting line with King Kong, Godzilla, and all the big guys, and that's who you have to fight for your place in the market.
Yeah. Pardon me, Joe. The medication is working well today.
I hear you on
that. I like the equity portion. It's not as great as it could be, but it's nice that it was introduced, and that's why the first bill dropped down, and then this bill came in with full force, because they came in with no small one-liners for this bill. These bills were 17, 22 pages, 17 pages, 18 pages,
right.
So
some of them were only a couple pages.
Yeah.
Well, our caller is in.
Awesome.
Excuse me. Before I get you on the line, Jeff, I want to do. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com/New Haven Independent or go to your Facebook page and look us up. All right, on the line, we have Jeff Wenzel from U.S. Hemp Care. Jeff, how are you?
Hello, Jeff.
Are you there? Harry, is he here?
I am here.
There you are. How are you, Jeff? Jeff?
Joe, Lou, and Kebra. How you guys doing?
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Kebra's not in today. We don't know where she is. I thought she might be up there with you. You told me you're in Hartford. Are you there still?
I just got back.
So tell us.
The grandkids today, because there's some parent-teacher meetings.
So tell us what's
behaving right now.
Tell us. All right, we'll do this done quick while they're still behaving. Tell us what's going on in Hartford. Anything?
Well, we're fighting to get a hemp bill passed soon. Hopefully this month or early May. Joe, I have to say, I've been listening to your show every week, and you guys rock. You're doing a great job. Not only educating listeners on the current legislative issues, but your advocacy on criminal justice and creating equity on the medical and rec side of cannabis are a true service. So I just need to say thank you for everything you guys are doing.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're working the hemp side pretty well.
You're fighting the fight as well there.
Yeah, you do well on the hemp side. Yeah. That's and we appreciate what you've done to try and get that through and make it an equitable, nice, good bill. I don't know the specifics. I did read one version of the bill, but I believe it's probably changed by now. Are they allowing felons to participate in the hemp industry?
Yeah, and I think we should have an easier path to get a hemp program done in Connecticut this year. As you guys know, the federal farm bill that passed in December completely and permanently removed industrial hemp and its derivatives from the Controlled Substances Act. but it just moved the regulatory burden to the state. So now Connecticut has to play a bit of catch up to implement a program so farmers can apply for permits to grow. But I think we're making progress. This year, as opposed to other years, we have broad bipartisan support in the legislature.
Right.
We have support from the governor who added funds for a hemp program to his budget. We have some extremely effective bill sponsors in Senators Christine Cohen and Kathy Austin. We have the support of the Connecticut Farm Bureau. They've been doing a great job and working with other key stakeholders to navigate the issues around permitting and regulations.
Yeah,
but we're hoping to get something done in the next month or so we don't miss out on this season.
So I mean, if you were able to get it done by the end of this month, you guys would actually be able to plant and get started this season.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, May would be enough time.
We're encouraging to get it done as soon as possible.
Right.
And build in enough wiggle room so that if there are any snaggles, we have time to recover from them.
Right.
But yeah, the past couple of years we've started growing as late as late June, early July, and had good crops in October.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
So I think there's time to get it done.
It has a shorter grow cycle, so that's a good thing about it, especially when you're using it for CBD and other things. So that's good news up there. And I do know that as far as equity goes, in the federal bill, it says that felons will be allowed to participate in the industry as long as it's been 5 years since their felony. Is that in the Connecticut bill?
I wasn't. That wasn't. I don't recall that in the federal bill. I do. I'd have to look at that and revisit it. I know that there was some discussion. I know that they are doing, or it's been proposed that the permit or license holders will need to do background checks. That said, it doesn't really apply to any of the employees of the people working these farms or these hemp-related companies. But I'd have to check on that. I know that the Connecticut bill is going to very closely follow the not just the 2018 bill, but probably the 2014 research pilot program first. I don't think the USDA is going to be ready to really start implementing the program until mid next year.
Ah, okay. So you're saying they're going to have to go up to 2014, which just allows pilot programs, which is fine. At least you can get some pilot programs started to start.
And I think they're doing it in a way that they'll be able to kind of transition over to the 2018 bill
fairly easily.
Yeah, got you. So at least, hey, that's good news for all the hemp farmers out there.
Or no, those farmers who are looking to become hemp farmers. That's going to be a great thing.
That's right.
We got to spread the news. Now, tell us a little bit about, I'm looking here, and it looks like at the end of the month that the FDA is taking public comments and having a hearing on CBD and how they should regulate it. Where do we stand with that?
Yeah, that's right. They did make an official announcement, I think, in the Federal Register over the last couple of days that they're going to be holding public hearings on cannabis product safety, manufacturing, quality labeling. And there's been a lot of concern about the FDA and the role that they could potentially play, especially in the CBD industry. But I think it's important to remember that the FDA does not make laws.
Right.
It's
just regulations
to implement and to follow the laws. And I think the legislative intent of the 2018 Farm Bill and the Hemp Act is very clear.
Yeah. About especially
and I think
CBD.
We can expect, McConnell and Wyden to continue to push for, fair, common sense regulations.
Right. So right now, what do you think about CBD being sold in Walgreens and CVS? They don't seem to be concerned about the FDA.
You know, I
That's
think
right.
it's great. You know, I think you know, we're obviously just seeing an explosion in CBD use. You know, and it's, you know, it's going to go mainstream. It was bound to happen with the passage of that legislation.
Right.
And you know, and I think when you see those big retailers getting on board, you know, the CBD industry has grown so quickly.
I was reading it's doubled.
I read something from the Natural Products Expo was saying it's the most rapidly growing natural product, you know, commodity in history. You know, outgrowing sugar and other things is how quickly it's, you know, and obviously that's a lot because it was prohibited for 80 years.
Right.
Right.
But but you know, I think that the industry is, you know, there's enough people in it at this point that I don't think there's a chance they can turn back. And I think that, you know, now that we have federal legislation, there will be bumps in the road, I'm sure.
Right.
But I think we can get it done.
So, oh yeah, well, no, I believe that I was there at the hearing, and there was a lot of support, surprisingly, from Republican senators who happen to be in districts that are farming districts. And I believe that Connecticut could really thrive from a good hemp industry here, and it could really supplement the state's budget, as well as help a lot of people, farmers and regular people who want to get involved in the industry, as well as help them prosper in the state and maybe be able to afford some of the high taxes that we pay here.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know,
to
I mean, piggyback off
break,
of that,
you know, the dairy farmers, the
right,
hay farmers,
this is a way
for them to,
you know, Jeff, that's exactly what I was going to jump
grow
into.
a new cash crop, you know, and it should bring, you know, a new generation of farming to Connecticut, which is, you know, the Connecticut Valley is world renowned, you know, for its soil and tobacco farming.
Oh, we were always known.
We're actually in a position, strange as it is, that we're late to the game, but we can learn from a lot of what the other states have done to implement a really good program where we can really compete with our neighboring states.
Yeah, and the good thing is we have some good people here who are ready, willing, and able to do it.
That's right.
You know, and I think that's real important, and we can get Connecticut back to that agriculturally based state that we were. You know, when I was growing up, there's a lot more farms around here. A lot more farms, a lot more little farm stands that over the years I've just seen closing and closing. All these big farms. I mean, there was Pepe's farm right here in Milford, closed. You know, all these big giant farms are closed, and now they could actually be doing something with them because we have good soil here. So no, I agree with you, Jeff, and I wanted to talk to you real quick about the Connecticut Hemp Industry Association and tell us about, you know, how people can join that and you know what you're doing here in Connecticut, any kind of things you got coming up.
Right. Yeah, thanks. So the Connecticut Hemp Industry Association was, you know, it was taking a while to get going, to be honest, but we finally have, you know, we're a nonprofit 501c6 membership organization, and we've finally gotten all of our paperwork done and our tax IDs, so we can actually start accepting memberships.
Oh, great!
And that'll start, you know, this week, hopefully. But the goal is really, and obviously we're playing an advocacy and lobbying role right now. But you know, we're supporting it, you know, over 4,000 farms in Connecticut, you know, and you know, farming is a $4 billion industry in Connecticut.
Right.
And you know, I think the you know, the recent appointment of Brian Hurlbert to the as commissioner at Department of Ag is just great news, not just for hemp, because he's been a strong advocate, but it's good for farmers in general in the state.
Right.
You know, we really just need a break.
Yeah, no, it is. We do. And, you know, like I said, a lot of...
We're looking to do some events. I think the weekend of May 18th, we'll probably do another farmer meetup. We've been looking at doing some things at the Grove in Milford.
Oh, good. Love to have you down there.
Haunts that you guys are familiar with.
Great, that'd be fun. Yeah, you guys sell this CBD down there at Bohemian High. We sell Jeff's CBD at the Vape Loft in Guilford, so just a little plug there for you. Jeff's CBD brand is US Hemp Care, and tell us, how can they get a hold of you if they want to learn more about your products, but also to join the Connecticut Hemp Industry Association? How do they get a hold of you?
Right. So for the Hemp Industry Association, right now the best resource, that I'm sending people to is our Facebook page.
Okay.
And we do have a website that was just launched, which is cthemp.org.
Okay.
And that's where you'll actually be able to sign up and become a member. And you can always find info on US Hemp Care at ushempcare.com.
So ushempcare.com, people can check out your products. People can get more information about CBD and the Connecticut Hemp Industry Association. And Jeff is just, by the way, a great resource if you want to learn about hemp. I know you were involved in the Yukon project up there. I don't know if we really want to get into that or not, but if you want some more information about hemp and Jeff's product and anything having to do with hemp in Connecticut, he's the guy to go to. That's ushempcare.com. And info at ushempcare, you said?
That's right.
All right.
And cthemp.org.
cthemp.org, and check him out on Facebook. All right, Jeff. It's great talking to you, and we appreciate all the work you do out there trying for the hemp industry here in Connecticut, and with the CBD as well. And we hope to be talking to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Likewise. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
You too, man. Sir. Keep up the good fight.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye, Jeff.
Talk soon. Thank you.
Take care. Well, I just got word from Kebra.
All right.
You know where she is?
Where's she up to?
D.C.
D.C.
I forgot. I don't know that she ever told me, but that's okay if she didn't. I know she's been very busy. But I should have known she would be there because there is the big there's a rally there. I believe it's on Thursday. And I'm going to ask her if she wants to call in and talk about it because it's very important. It's MCBA, Minority Cannabis. Yeah, they're doing a lobby day. And I know they're down in D.C.
right now. I've been following up. There's a whole bunch of
Jason is down there. And I should have known Kebra would be there, because she did. And by the way, I don't know if she wants to let that out, but she is working for MPP now.
Yep, we mentioned that last week. Yep.
So I just texted her to see if she wants to call in because that might be a good thing to talk about and let her plug it. But let's get back to a couple of things that's going on there in the industry. So we talked quick on New York. I just got a text from Brian who said they're still in caucus in the Judiciary Committee. They are not even broadcasting it live on the air,
no,
so we couldn't tap in if we wanted to. It's private message. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com, New Haven Independent, and go to your Facebook page and look us up. All righty. So we'll see if Kebra wants to call. I hope she would.
If she is, she'll just plug in a little bit about what they got going on. But Nelson's down there. Jake Plowden from Cannabis Cultural Association. Jason's there. Some of the people from Elevate are there, from the Massachusetts advocacy area. So it's pretty cool as we keep, we are up here working with our Connecticut people, pushing it for our local area as well. So we're really excited about all of that,
So we talked about New York a little bit. Again, the issue was over equity. And, a lot of the legislators just pushed back on it. And it was a lot of because the cannabis industry,
and especially the ancillary services. We've been out there, the ancillary services, the minority councils, the countercultural organizations like that have been out there pushing the legislators of those states, making sure that they understood what was important. So now that's being seen in Massachusetts as important as well. Rhode Island's not,
even though they put it in the laws there,
there's that second portion. You got to watch it.
Making sure it happens.
You got the watchdog portion, and that's why that's included in the bill for us, the the Cannabis Commission there.
Yeah, and that I think unfortunately, I hate to, this state is just so backwards. And Leo Bridgewater says it. It's Jetson talk versus Flintstones talk, and it is like you're talking to dinosaurs up there because they just don't make the connection of why it's important. And I think I talked about this last week, but a lot of these legislators in these small towns, these upstate, in certain areas that aren't urban, don't have any urban setting.
Those issues.
They not only grew up in that area, so not only these people live there, they grew up there. So this is the reality they know. They never would understand what it's like to be thrown in jail for having a joint,
right?
Or just because you're black, being really being profiled because you're black,
driving around the wrong neighborhood, wearing the wrong clothes.
Yeah, and then if they get you with a little amount,
a joint.
They nail you for
literally a joint. Sometimes,
and I'm not saying there aren't criminals out there. There certainly is a black market out there, but if you make something legal, you have to forgive those people.
I also think and this isn't the most popular opinion, but when I'm asked about moving violations and items of the such. Alcohol is alcohol. It is bad. Impairment is impairment. It is bad. If you're impaired under cannabis, it's still bad. It doesn't change.
It's still impairment.
That you're impaired or not, on what you're impaired by. Because even driving while impaired, to be tired, they put that under.
That's impaired.
Medicine.
Cough medicine.
You're impaired. So that's where that ruling has become super generalized.
Don't you see that on a lot of bottles?
Oh, yeah. So that was what they used to help them win. Because, hey, we don't have to prove that you were under the influence. We just have to prove that you were impaired.
They took that out of this bill, too, by the way. They made it much more looser. They just made it under impairment. Because it's true. What does it matter what you're impaired under?
Right.
They got this breathalyzer test. So they set some random limit for whether you're impaired or not. Well, let me tell you something. There are some people who would be impaired off one freaking drink.
Yeah.
Me being one of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm one of those as well.
But my breath limit would be lower.
Yeah.
Because my alcohol blood limit would be lower than what they would say.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go by that. And there's no way you can do it with cannabis.
No.
So give it up. Don't profile people. What they're trying to do is justify profiling because
that's where
you're only going to pull someone over if they're impaired.
Those small cities, those small representatives who are now under that driving while black, driving while Spanish, driving while white
young,
in the wrong neighborhood,
white and being young.
Yeah, in the wrong
you have to understand if they don't have people of color that they can profile,
they're
going to profile the white kids that are there, the youth, or the lower income white people.
That's right.
So it's a question of what the demographic is in that area of who they're going to profile.
And then it even happens on the inner city. You get somebody who's got a nicer vehicle, comes from a little bit of affluent or something, has a good job, whatever it may be, but now they're driving through a really pooped up neighborhood
where they look out of place. Right.
So now
they're going to get pulled over.
They'll get pulled over. Exactly.
Where
are you coming from?
What are you doing down in this?
What are you doing down here? Well, I got lost over there. Oh, you got lost.
Right.
We're going to search your car.
Right. And what if that guy had a joint? Right.
And he could have realistically just got lost.
Yeah, he really could. Took a wrong turn off.
That's it.
Right.
And so that just perpetuates that idea of being in the wrong place in the wrong time and stay out,
And if
it
you
gives
notice,
a bad neighborhood.
Where a lot of the resistance to the equity comes in, it comes in from those areas. The legislators from those areas. The people who represent New Haven, the people who represent Hartford, the people who represent Danbury, the people who represent New London, they understand.
Yeah.
Because they have to deal with those issues in their community. But how much does Avon have to deal with?
Right.
Winstead.
Do
you know what I mean?
They're not, and they're dealing with so many harder things.
Yeah, like meth.
Like real drugs.
Yeah, meth and stuff. Yeah.
Joe.
And those are not people of color.
I make the joke about it, and I do make the joke about it, but you get the kids that are coming from those neighborhoods, and not even say kids.
Opioids, too,
I say 25 years old. We're a little older these days, 25. You know, you get a 25-year-old. These are the kids that are going back and forth between the town. They're probably still living at their parents' house because they are probably under a small opioid addiction or something.
That's more with the kids these days, opioids.
And they're staying in their parents' home. Their parents probably don't even understand this is going on. So in their head, all they think is, "Oh, my kid smokes pot." Realistically, they're going into the bad neighborhood.
Smell.
That's all they can smell. Oh, my kid smokes pot.
Unless they find the pills, right?
Right.
How are they going to know?
Oh, this is because you're hanging out in that bad neighborhood, picking up the pot from those guys.
Yep.
No. That your innocent child could have more than likely and at the same rate be the bad influence.
Right.
It's not necessarily just a kid from the inner city. It could it could just as equally
have been your kid. Bringing it in from the rich neighborhood.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Not to say that it's more or less, but it's very equal that any of those kids.
I grew up in a wealthier,
better
area.
Neighborhood.
Okay, I couldn't wait to get out of there. Believe me, the day I turned 18, I moved down to Norwalk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Bridgeport. My parents, my dad got a little successful.
This is back in the day.
He decided, we're going to move them out to the country. Well, let me tell you, out in the country, those kids are just as bad. They do worser things. They're terrible. I'm telling, and they do more drugs because they have more money.
Yeah.
They have money out there, and they have money to burn.
Yeah, Joe, I grew up in the hood. East New York, Brooklyn. We did not do that. That stuff was not good. It was expensive too.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was worse. I mean,
Joe, I got nickel bags, and it was still enough for two. That was back in the day, Joe.
Well, my family didn't have a ton of money, and like I said, I hated it. I hated living out in the country.
The neighborhood was better, quote unquote. That's what they said.
That's all it was, though.
The neighborhood, it's better.
It was just nicer. But let me tell you, the white people are nasty. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh man, I didn't say it. We're
Especially
good.
the kids, man. I got bullied, all that.
Yeah.
Well, because
I grew up in the hood, Joe.
Yeah.
It wasn't called bullying. That was just
Tuesday. How you lived. Yeah, I get you.
So
let's give some good news.
It gives them tough skin.
Let's give some good news. We talked about bad news.
Is that privilege that you get to be bullied, huh, Joe?
Yeah.
That white privilege.
Yeah,
that white bully privilege
by other white people, though.
Yeah. That's you don't know it's privilege until
I know you don't know it's privilege until you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, right. You're right. I think the privilege. I don't know. I don't feel privileged right now.
That was definitely part of your privilege, John.
Yeah, I guess so that I got to get bullied.
You got lots of privilege there. All right, what do you got there in front of you?
All right,
so through some papers.
News. New Hampshire did approve a marijuana legalization bill.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Only
very, very close. It was 200 to 163, so that's not really bad. But what it doesn't represent is a veto-proof majority because they're pretty sure it'll pass the Senate too.
Yeah,
but when it gets to the governor's
desk,
he's already said he will veto it.
He said he would veto it.
So we hope this is not a lesson in futility for New Hampshire,
right?
Because they got it through the full House.
Yes,
and they're just not sure. They said they're close to having enough votes to override the veto, but it's not quite there. So it's going to go down to the wire again.
Yeah.
But New Hampshire could be the first state to the first actual state to legalize cannabis through the legislature with a retail system.
With the retail system.
Because there is for retail in their provision. So that's good news for New England. Hopefully we can get that through. And also, Guam.
Yes.
The territory of Guam.
U.S. territory, Guam.
Has fully legalized cannabis. The governor, Guam became the first U.S. jurisdiction to legalize marijuana in 2019 with signature of Lulian Guerrero on Tuesday. When it goes into effect, the new law will permit adults 21 and over to possess and grow cannabis. It will create a system of licensed and regulated businesses to produce and grow marijuana.
Joe, we're going to Guam.
I have a cousin there. There will be a 15% excise tax on sales, with revenues going towards law enforcement, drug treatment, and agriculture programs. So they got it pretty much, 50% tax. They're going to give some of the proceeds going to law enforcement, drug treatment.
They needed another form of revenue there pretty bad for that. So, it's a U.S. territory that operates pretty independently. We don't hear too much about it other than weather disasters. So it's a beautiful island.
Well, here's what I think
military bases are there. It's awesome.
it only passed. Their legislature is very small, 15 people total. It passed by a measure of 8 to 7.
Yeah.
If only we had it that easy.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't have to work.
New Hampshire was
300
200
people,
and something.
200 to 150. We have like 256 here. I mean, if it was that easy, you got to work 15 people.
We got to work 15 people. We'd be throwing office parties, Jeff.
Yeah, man. And Mariana Islands, also another U.S. territory, like Puerto Rico and Guam, also legalized cannabis last year. And the Virgin Islands has medical with reciprocity.
They're
the Mariana Islands
countries.
are gorgeous.
The islands are gorgeous.
The thing with Guam is it's nice, but it's so isolated.
Yeah.
It is so isolated, and it's very much federal military there.
Yes,
like
there's
really
a lot
the only
of
purpose
military,
for that island for the U.S. to be there is just militarily.
And I've had friends that were stationed over there. They just call it paradise.
Oh yeah, well when I say I have a cousin there, I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
I really have a cousin there, and I have about 8 other. But he's got about 7 kids. So I have a big family out there, and I would easily be welcomed. I would easily be welcomed if I wanted to give him a call. So you tell me when you want to go. We got Guam, we got Puerto Rico, whatever you
for now on, anybody who wants to do cannabis, we're going to warm weathers. We're not doing this cold anymore.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I say. If Connecticut doesn't want to allow felons in the industry, and that means, full disclosure, I'm not welcome, then why should I stick around here?
Exactly.
Why should anybody who has a felony.
Joe, I have the same thought as you. And this was a conversation this morning on the radio I was listening to about helmets.
Yeah.
The gentleman they were talking about said, you know what? I wear a helmet, but don't force me to wear a helmet.
Yeah.
That's all. We've had the law on the books. We haven't had a helmet law on the books until now.
Yeah.
Other states have it, okay. But realistically, if I don't want to, and then the rule is, though, but if you're 18 or 16 when you get your motorcycle's permit, you have to wear a helmet till you're 21. Yeah. At the age of 21, you're allowed to make the decision. So now that can kind of pull through a lot of other avenues as we have. We take that same ruling with cannabis, with alcohol, and but
Harry's going to kick us off the air. We got a lot going on.
Let's make sure we stay on time. Yeah.
Tonight, if you people are available and you want to go down and talk to some legislators, Mike D'Agostino and Josh Elliott and a few more legislators are going to be at Bar New Haven.
Yes.
Tonight at 6 p.m. and they will be giving you away free pizza. And they will doing a Q&A forum type of thing. So if you want to go question about
Pilsner's beer,
Pilsner's beers and politics,
politics, beer and pizza.
6 o'clock it starts. Free pizza right here at Bar New Haven, right around the corner. April the 10th, Canna Gather is with Kebra is going to be speaking at Spaces in West Hartford. She may not be though. She may be in D.C. April the 12th, Can It Create? Spring Picnic at the Grove.
Yeah, it's just a simple instructional, CBD-infused instructional cooking. So, composed salad, a beverage, and a dessert.
Excellent. CBD-infused, so you can take it out with you on your picnic. The 13th, this Saturday, commercial cultivation with Ellen Brown.
Can't go wrong with that.
This is really good class. If you want to learn anything about growing, Ellen Brown is one of the top dogs in the industry. That'll be at the Grove this Saturday, 10 a.m. There's still seats available. If you want to go, you can just contact us.
Yep.
The normal meeting will be the 17th. We think it's going to be at the Grove. We don't know if the rough draft is going to be open or not. As you know, the rough draft
They're in a transition.
Pete is going to be taking it over, but we don't know if they'll have it all done by the 17th. So it may be at the Grove, and that's at 7 p.m.
I think what's it being called now?
Basement or something like that.
Yeah. I just saw something pop up.
And then the last thing.
The Cellar.
The Cellar, that's it. Is the April 18th, Soul Chill is having a CBD social.
Up in Hartford?
At the Curioporium in Hartford, and that's at 8 p.m. And that's about it for the events. But tonight would be a real good event to go to if you want to talk to legislators.
That's right.
And the cultivation class and the spring picnic would be great things for you to attend.
Lots of
down
things
at the
to
Grove.
go on.
A lot of things to go. Keeper's not here, but I'm assuming Canna Health is open this week.
Yes.
And there will be a new Milford office opening of Canna Health, and I'll make the official announcement next week.
And we appreciate you, Joe. Thank you so much for everything, as always, and all your help. I'm super excited to continue this journey with you. Stay happy, healthy, and high there, my friend.
Keep your eyes on the Connecticut Normal Facebook page to know about the vote on this bill. Okay, it's very important. We don't know anything yet. They're obviously discussing the hell out of it because they're still in caucus.
They're trying, bro.
So remember, last time, by this time, they were voting on it.
That's right.
We'll see. Keep your fingers crossed, people, and keep up the good fight.
Till next week, guys. Stay happy, healthy, and high.
I still got plans that I never spoke. A lot of rhymes that I never wrote. A lot of dreams that I never lived. But if I think about it, then I mean I really did. Just not yet. I used to wish that I was here now. Smooth selling on my own boat.